Hi, this is Ethan Battle George, and in this video I'll be going over my custom level, which is Portal 2. And in this I'll be analysing the design of my Portal 2 test chamber, with particular focus on structure and the use of the beam throughout the entire level, and how I make use of this one mechanic to build on the rest of the mechanics. The objective of the chamber was to explore how the beams can function, not only as traversal tools, but also as a special kind of logic system that allows for a lot of pushing and pulling, a lot of visibility and sequencing. Rather than designing around the complexity alone, the chamber was structured around clarity, mechanical scaffolding, and controlled cognitive escalation. Now, let's focus on to what my main mechanic was in this level. That was the beam, straight up. It is a kind of like a see-through beam that basically you can be pushed up or pulled through with objects, the turrets, yourself. It can be portaled. However, instead of using the beam purely as just a push from like get one side to the other, I'm using it in creative different ways to allow the player to go, hey, push and pull in different directions in order to get into the direction you want. It allows for traversal across hazards, blocking environmental threats, as we'll see within my level with the turret, and acting as a movable divider, so basically allowing you to be moved, allowing for good movement and creativity with it. It transforms a simple mobility tool into a system that shapes the player's decision making and how they experiment with the puzzle. The chamber follows a structured pedagogical model. Is where we introduce you to some mechanics, we reinforce these mechanics, and then we sympathize. We put them both together. I do this twice. With 3 different chambers, or puzzles, should I say, not chambers, 3 mini puzzles to show the player how to use each interaction in the way I want, building on the mechanics, not just shoving it all at them at once, going, hey, we're going to slowly build onto what we want, where it's like, hey, I'm going to show you, here's what the beam does, hey, I'm going to show you, you can move stuff with the beam, and then go on to one where it's like, hey, you need to move stuff with the beam to unlock the door. Basically combining the different mechanics in a way that allows for natural growth and build up within the player and their knowledge. The introduction phase, like I said, the players will encounter a very simple object or puzzle or way to get through. That's basically to introduce them to the mechanic itself, and it's not meant to be hard. It's meant to be something that's a nice little introduction to say, hey, this is what this does, to not throw them completely off guard. This phase isolates the mechanic to it just basically makes the cognitive load easier. It just basically says, hey, look, we're going to slowly introduce you in baby steps on how we're using these mechanics into how we can then build them up into a greater part for the puzzle within my level. The reinforcement stage is where the player must be reinforcing their ideas and the suspicions about the mechanic itself. It's where we're going to combine them and to say, hey, the beam can move you, it can move something else. It's reinforcing the idea where we're going to be using the beam throughout the level to go, hey, we're going to move this to do this. Finally, in the Synthesis phase, like I said, it's where we put everything together to make the ultimate puzzle for what we've been building up to. Alright, so let's talk about the beam. It basically functions as kind of some form of environmental language. Visually, the beam draws a kind of see-through spiral, luminous glow, I think is the best way to describe it. And it creates this a very distinct look and way throughout use throughout the level, and you can say, hey, clearly this is what it does. Additionally, the beam's linear nature encourages players to think in terms of alignment and projection, and the shifts problem solving to object integration and spatial reasoning. Managing the cognitive load was a massive thing here because we don't want to overload the player at once and then have them be frustrated. This is going to be a puzzle game where we can build up the ideas of, hey, these different things work together. It's the satisfaction of getting it right once finding it hard, but to not make it too hard. To mitigate this kind of thing, I limited the active elements per puzzle phase. So like I said, we do the slow build up and then we limit how many are actually included until we get to the final big puzzle. Clear visual contrast between portal surfaces and non-interactive portals. Like we say, I am in the game. It's not just photo. Where it's like, hey, black and white, you can go through here, you can't. Basically making it easier and kind of making sign point to say, hey, you need to use it here to do something. Pardon me. By restriction solution space, the player is guided towards the experimentation with manageable boundaries. This challenge emerges from the recombination of known elements from not overwhelming novelty. So what I'm kind of saying is by restricting the solution space, the player is guided towards the experimentation within manageable boundaries. I want the player to experiment with the mechanics that we've given them, but I want them to do it in a way that is manageable and kind of forcing them along the route. Kind of like what we do with yellow paint, where it's like, hey, follow this will help you subconsciously. It's to guide the player throughout the level. Spatial gating and the access control. This theme also functions as a gating mechanism. So in certain chambers, such as turrets or toxic ones, the beam can be used to push the turrets away and push the objects off high counters. Basically saying, hey, we can use this offensively. It's not just something that's a passive util. We can use it for a movement. We can use it for attacking. We can use it for push and pull. The player must determine not only where, but where to put the beam safely for them to use, and how is it going to be the most effective way for them to help them. The dual functionality deepens the puzzle complexity while maintaining systematic consistency. So let's talk about some iterations and some player behaviors. During playtesting, I observed how players initially didn't interpret the beam as a kind of like static. Basically, they were saying it was not, they weren't using it dynamically as the way I was intending. So by doing this, I got rid of a lot of the portable surfaces and made it so it's like forcing them into the idea of, hey, they can do this, but also in a way that's not overly forcing the hand. So what are some failures I did and some feedback I got? Some failure states in the chamber were some shortcuts you can get away some of the puzzles. A great example is that you used to be able to put a portal there and you could get over the laser, which completely overwrites everything this is trying to say, which is, hey, you press the button, you didn't go on the laser. Alright, now I've got through a lot of my design decisions going through. Let's talk about the actual level itself. So here, we're saying, here for our start, we're going to go, okay, well, where am I going? It's to teach the people who haven't played Portal, this is what Portal is, this is what a Portal can do. You can go through it. Wow, amazing. Here, there's a big red button, nothing else. It's going to tell the player, hey, press the big red button. It goes down, it's on a timer, it will go back up. So all the buttons are on a timer, so you've got to be careful, if not the laser will go back up. Oh look, there's a cube. And a big space. I'm going to get up there because we can see from there's stuff up there. So, we have a look. Oh, there's a button. Do I just put it in? Yeah, we do. I'm kind of wanting the player to learn these mechanics by just placing them there in a way that makes sense. So here, we're just going to think, oh, I just could go over there, walk. No, the turret. So we now have to look at, hey, look, there's the button from earlier. How do I use this? Alright, so we go put this down. Oh, we've realized that there's two portable surfaces, meaning we probably need to be portal there and a portal there. To go, hey, press this. Oh look, and it moves the turret. Teaching the player that, hey, the beams are going to be used for pushing instead of other objects, not just you. We get into one that combines the synthesization of all these different places put together. We've got, hey, there's a box up there. Sapphire in here. We need a sapphire to get up there, it looks like, since this is attached to something used to the Eterna lines. We've got another thing here. Oh, this is the beam. We've got another clear spot here. we can push the box off and put it on there. We can see, based on the antenna lines and the visual affordance I did, that these are attached, so you know that these have to be used to open this. And why don't I try to put this on here? You can't. It has to be a sphere, which is over there. So let's go get this. Move here, place it down, and then we're going. Right here, we're just placed for another button and there's nowhere really out. It's just kind of forcing them into what these do. It's like, hey, when there's purple water now, there could be some pistons underneath it. So you have to do something to lift the pistons up. Here, let's have a look. Oh, we've got another beam. And another 2 clear spots, what we can do. Let's do it. We move it across. Oh no, it died. Have to get another one down. Oh look, the pistons that I introduced earlier. Oh here, let's have a look here. As you remember from the first segment, we can use it for player movement, and we can see here. Oh look, we can put that there, and mouse will go there. Oh, but I'm now stuck. Oh, if I look down, we now see this portable surface, we're going to go up. Basically teaching the player before we go into this stage that we need to use it in multiple different ways for pushing and pulling. Here. Well, there's no beam, there's nothing. Oh, but there's portable surfaces there. So perhaps I could use this over here and move me. Integrating and synthesizing it all together. Building on the mechanics I was showing earlier. Oh, there's a box there. And I need a box here. Okay, we can do the same thing. Since within the one of the puzzles earlier, we moved the box. So we must be able to do that here. Oh look, that lifts off some pistons. A button here, let's check what the button does. Oh, it turns that down on a timer. I have to be quick to get over there. Maybe we were shown earlier. A beam, oh a port, I better put that there before the lasers go back up. But where does this go? Oh, there's a blank space here. I just pull over here. Okay, that's good. So this. Oh, this is the exit though, but the box, where do I get that? Ah, over here. You can see there's portable surfaces, so I can just go in and yoink it. And that is my port level and my design and ideas when designing it. Thank you for listening.